Okay. That's right. All right. Welcome to this live stream. As we have titled this, we are beginning to experiment with. We actually figured out exactly how to hook up our microphone to our remote setup. For whatever reason, it wasn't working before. We could hook it up to the non-remote setup. Then we figured out we purchased a portable tripod stand that we can actually easily carry around and then hook up a microphone to. If we desire to sort of lean into some of these lower tones that we desire to explore, I feel like there's a very particular way of integrating these vocal tones in the different ranges that we explore. And I feel like the best way, or just the most opportune way, let me just find a bit of a backtrack, maybe for fun. The best way to do this is low tones on a condenser mic, and then the higher tones, as we do, we stream through our preamp, and we loop it so it becomes like a backtrack. So we'll show what this looks like in a second here. Videos. Just for fun, we're like, all right, what if we have this sound of the river, of course, just kind of streaming in. Just for some ambience, like if we're like, all right, we're going to set the tone, this is what's going to occur. Maybe let's find a way so we can centrally face everything. Get this nice and out of the way. But also have this somehow in our setup, but not clipping, because that sounds crazy when the mic clips out. Testing. Throwing that around. Welcome to this live stream. Hey, thank you. The star, whatever, yeah, got stars. So as we're setting up or testing our remote setup as we usually do, all this, let's maybe straighten that out here. So we can essentially, as we are sort of figuring right now in real time, we're trying to, play around with like really deep, rich, low tones, tones that are sort of like in the chest, very masculine, sort of like ancient tones. And then letting the higher tones, as we've been doing the last couple days, we just, you know, stream these through like this, you know, kind of. And maybe just kind of let it stretch. And let that kind of be, you know, a backtrack, say. Okay. I'm just kind of doing whatever and improvising from here. I don't know. But the idea is to try to be like, how can we get more experimental and free form with the vocals? And of course, you know, having a microphone enables that. It makes it possible suddenly. But I don't know. I don't know about you, but when I find I hear this dynamic in my head, you know, if I'm on like psychedelics or something, frequently what is more expressed is a very like untamed version of this. You know, I like to do these streams where I'm just kind of like guitar, violin, guitar, like it's like a compositional orchestra. But I think it's valid and valuable to understand that a lot of these expressions, they're more so supposed to be like unfiltered and untamed. You know, it's like, and what I mean by that is like, you know, you can reach into any avenue of musical sounds at any given moment, and that's what's beautiful about the loop, right? Hey bro, play Fade to Black. Fade to Black. What is that song again? No idea what that song is. I'm true. That is, I have no idea how to perform it, not even the slightest. I know what song it is though. I can hear it now in my head. But in essence, let's do something that we were kind of doing the other day. So if we're like, okay, let's create a loop on the fly, which we were really enjoying the other day. No, let's fresh loop. I think though I've noticed the clicking is very loud on your guys' end. When I have it like chilling right here, just turning up my brightness. Maybe if I keep it down here and have my microphone maybe a little more centralized, so we can kind of naturally sit in a way. Oh, yeah. Testing. save that, I suppose. Keep that as our default, as we do typically have been. Welcome, new people. Welcome, two people. Two people going to 8 people. I'm assuming the homie that was there, he left. King Kosh. Nice. Bro, paid Fade to Black. Metallica. Yeah, I know Metallica, dog. I'm just not a cover artist. Yeah, I spend my time... Again, we've all... Not to throw salt, I suppose, at people's tastes in music, but we've all been, 13, 14. I remember, being 12 years old and being like, yeah, let's rock Metallica and shred a bunch of covers. And, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Eventually, you get on to a different phase of your musical journey, brother. Yeah. Thank you, one and all. Those that want your unhinged, outlandish nonsense. Trust. Don't worry. I see you. I see right through your projections, whatever this is that you're, projecting. Insecurities, this, that. I don't know. I mean, not saying that all you guys are, but I see you guys. I see you comment. New audience members, and trust. I have zero reservations to remove you permanently from this channel. Takes a quarter of a second to remove your comment rights. And honestly, I highly invite you. Speak your outlandish truth. If you're feeling compulsive, projective, say your nonsense. Don't worry about it, brother. There's no judgment here. But, I desire to attract people that can have a capacity for emotional intelligence, intention, speak with intention. And if that's not you, that's all good, brother. Like, no judgment. You'll just be removed from this channel. That's all good. Yeah. Just food for thought. Yeah. Clicking isn't an issue. But again, welcome to this live stream. We are basically, as we are, looping our performance act that we work on. We're a live streamer, whatever, YouTuber primarily. And I've been working on, as we are, our channel, as Shay, is really about understanding how one, personally, like you, be it me, can just learn to connect to the resonance patterns behind music. Just like how can you, as I've personally found myself attracted to, learn to just connect and develop like a divine context, if you will, to music. That's just basically the epicenter of my channel. I make guitar, I teach guitar, or I make music. I compose music. I, record busking sessions, and I'm leaning into pushing myself as a musician. But the epicenter of it is always about me just creating these like meditative, atmospheric journeys and bringing these to, busking dynamics, streaming dynamics, and just holding space for that. If that doesn't align with you, if you're not a musician, free thinker, philosopher type, that just doesn't resonate with you. That's okay. This is the YouTube wilderness, but you're probably not my target audience, and I would highly invite you to leave this stream. But anyway, not saying not to you, not targeting to you fellow people here, but just caveat. I really, don't mind setting that boundary. Good instrumental, cheers. Yeah. And homie's asking this, that, drink something, I don't know, yeah, this, I'm pretty sure King Kosh left, but homie's stressed. I hear ya, King Kosh. Like, for us all, I hear ya, King Kosh. You're feeling insecure about your own sobriety, it appears. I don't know, like, you've just popped in a stream and capitalized something about don't do substances. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your truth. I mean, I haven't done substances of anything beyond, some shrooms here and there for like 11 years. So I don't think any danger of using substances commercially. But again, I think I can only say homies like King Kosh that's running through live streams spamming don't do drugs or insinuating people are on drugs. Homie clearly is struggling with his own capacity to circulate healthy neurochemistry. Like, that's all I see is King Kosh is being like spamming, compulsively, don't do substances, or this person's using substance or whatever. I hear ya. Valid concerns, but I would say don't concern yourself with other people's substance use or not. I would say concern why you are feeling so compulsive to judge people for their neurochemical choices, as obsolete as they might be. Like, trust, I hear ya. But that's not the way. You're doing a disservice to whatever you're trying to promote. Stressing or trying to judge people about their substance use or not, that comes across that actually is a disservice to, the farce or the quest for people to find true sobriety and honor that. So, I'd say don't be like that guy. Don't be like King Kosh. Homie seems dysregulated. And sir, my cardinal message, all I can say is this is a universal ultimatum. Homies like King Kosh or whomever, you're saying compulsive nonsense. If that's your inclination or that's your prerogative, like, yo, I'm gonna hop on a live stream, say some compulsive, outlandish stuff, I highly invite you to get off your phone right now. You probably need to put down your phone. Like, and if this applies to beyond, if you're feeling outlandish or whatever, probably just get off your phone. Pick up your guitar or whatever your selective discipline is, and you got to get to it, brother or sister. You got to grind. You got to put down your phone, stop hijacking your neurochemistry, put down your phone, turn it off, and pick up your guitar. Do something productive. That's what I would highly invite. Universal message if that resonates. Anyway, back to our sound journey here that we're kind of just improvising in this moment. Something magical about having a microphone, of course, especially if I'm like busking or whatever, is if I'm doing stuff like hitting sound healing instruments and playing around with vibrations, it's not audible necessarily, but with a microphone, of course, audio is crisp, it's clear, it's very direct. You could be a person walking down the street and you get a couple seconds of a vibration kind of streaming through and you're just like, wow, that feels good, that sounds good, and that's the point. I can hear it, but can you hear it, I guess? And with microphones and all this kind of calibrated sound setup, typically anyways. Whoa, voice crack there. I have not warmed up my voice at all, but that's kind of the point. We're warming up here. Let's just do a whole new loop. Let's do the loop as we were. Oh, that didn't sound aesthetic. Slowly getting there. I guess you guys can probably hear this through the microphone's phone, but it's good to practice dialing it through here. Alice in Chains, something, potential to be a cover guitarist, nice. But putting a guitar back in the cover. I can't tell if you're trolling or serious, or if you're serious, cool, thanks for sharing. But I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't think I have what it takes to be a cover artist. Let's be real here. I don't think I have that desire to be a cover artist. I just don't have it in me. I don't desire to cover other people's music and waste my time, or invest my time, let's say. I have for years. It's fun, but I don't know, man. Only so much time in the world. I'm a firm believer in our choices. Obviously in life, but as a musician, you're like, oh, I want to make original music, or I want to, do something original and innovate or break through something musically. You're not going to get there by just covering other people's music all day long. It doesn't matter how many people stroke your ego and are like, yes, you're a phenomenal, uh, Metallica cover artist or whatever you want to be. Metallica's dope. I love Metallica, you know? I listen to tons of music. And I cover like 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, some Annie McKee. I cover lots of music, man. But that's not what I focus my energy on, especially not the last like 7 years. I think I actually need to replace this thumb pick here. I think it could be placed a little bit more on par. I think at some point probably, I'm not sure exactly today. I don't really feel the move. Yesterday I went to a street festival. I attempted to busk, as we did in the live stream. After 10 minutes, we got requested that we have to have a permit, I guess, for the street, because they purchased the entire street for the street festival, which I had no idea. Never even attempted to, figure that out. So I kind of just went in there, was like, okay, bit deterred. Went around to find another spot, went to Kitsilano, ended up finding a good spot and doing a little bit of busking. But then there was a lot of weird, what's the word? Basically, there was a bunch of background noise from people blasting copyrighted, really crappy, I'll be honest, radio music. So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna live stream here, because it's like too much background noise, too much copyrighted music just flooding through. And I was like, I'm just gonna be present and busk here. And that went relatively well, and then it started raining a little bit, so I was like, you know what? This has been a good session, but I'm gonna count it as a loss, so to speak, just like in a way. So I think today we'll probably just spend a lot of time chilling in the forest, working on our busking acts. I think what I'd love to do moving forward, I've kind of thought about this a lot, is I feel like I would love to wake up earlier. I mean, just wake up as I do, but busk at like 11 o'clock or something. Like, 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, drink a bunch of cacao, bring some cacao, and go busk, all cacao fueled, have theobromine flowing through my system. I think that would be a fun experience, because I rarely do that, where I'm like, sometimes I'll, the one time I recorded me busking Gastown, I was, drinking some cacao before going to a rave, because that's what I do. I don't do drugs or anything. I just, obviously, just drink a bit of cacao. And had a couple cups of cacao, went busking in this beautiful C-Bus terminal, went extremely well. And then I went to a rave. And that was super dope. And I, make that distinction. I'm like, man, it's so simple. I just gotta be having that cacao flow through my veins. And when do I do that? Well, I can do that at like 11 in the morning, 10 in the morning. Just hop down the hill and try that when I'm feeling very awakened. No losses, only learning moments. It's true. I'll be honest, I feel very validated as a whole, because, a week back, I did like 3 days in a row where I made like record breaking, just made like $20 in like 45, 50 minutes, or like $20 in an hour, 3 days in a row. And then I've, gotten some donations on my live stream. So I'm like, you know what? The money is not my core emphasis. Like, I feel validated in a sense, in a sense where I'm like I don't need, $5, $10, $20 here when I go and busk. I'd rather, push myself out of my comfort zone. And that's kind of what I did, was like, I went out in the middle of a street festival. Like, I'll probably do a little clip and post parts of that as content, just to see how it gets received by the algorithm. But I literally was just like, all right, let's try to busk. For the first time ever in a street festival. Big, like, thousands of people flowing through. Beautiful spot. Perfect spot for busking, I'll be honest. If this guy didn't request that it was like, oh, you got to have a $300 permit or whatever, I would have definitely been there for like hours, because it was perfect. But man, that first moment of like setting up, I was like, I've never done this. I was feeling confident. I was like, you know what? I know my music's good. I know I can do this. This is gonna happen. But it was like that first moment of like hesitance, like being like, like, okay, I'm a little bit anxious, feeling like, okay, I'm gonna set myself up, and there's all these people, but of course I did it, and I was like, okay, not only is it possible, that was really simple, very easy, And it's a nice, it's a nice kind of milestone. I'm like, sick. I officially have felt that experience of like, oh, this is easier and more possible than I could ever imagine. And of course, like I had happen to live stream, the guy that requested my permit or whatever, he put me in touch with the performance team and the people that hire people for the festival, the street festival. And he was literally like, yeah, bro. So he's like, you could just like, if you get him in touch, you can perform next year because they want to hire local musicians. Like they really want to hire all different types of local musicians. So that was cool. He's like, yeah, instead of you having to pay a permit price, you'll get paid to go on these stages. And there's like a bunch. There's like 4 or 5 little mini stages. So I was like, yeah. I was like, that's, you know what? That's probably why I was here. Like that was the. So that was cool. Not what I expected. Still felt a little defeated, but it's not a linear journey, friends. Yeah. Let's see what we can produce here. So that's what we're trying to do before we hit on the live stream and get all distracted. I'll see the volume here. Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. That is the sim right. That is the sim right. Okay. This is the thing, is my thumbnail kind of broke. I don't know, just tentatively, just, using it, performing or playing, pinch harmonics. So now we're using this beautiful artificial 3D thumbnail, which we use pretty often anyways. But it takes a very particular placement, I find, to enact the natural placement of a thumbnail. Game changer, though. If you're really into artificial pinch harmonics like I am, and you don't have a thumbnail, you're kind of screwed. You can't make the pinch harmonic. Then you just gotta do this. There we go. That's perfect. All right. Yes. You have potential, something, something. Be in good shape, bro. Nice. No losses, only yes. Yeah. I think I need water. I have no idea to play zombie. Definitely not. Still not a cover artist, but it's okay. Okay. Just about getting warmed up here. some sort of effect still there, but picks up on it slightly. Wow. Heck no, Tom. You're not the one, brother. Yeah. Stairway to Yemen. That sounds like a bad choice, brother. What's up, new day, new instruments? Something like that. You American. Yeah, who knows what Tom is, but we'll never figure it out. We'll never figure it out. Tom's the kind. You know, we spoke of a moment ago. Like, hey, I get it. Some of us, we're going through shit, right? We're stressed. We're feeling spiritually locked in a malaise, as something like Terrence McKenna would say. He likes that word. But, you know, hey, if that's your prerogative to pop on a live stream and be like, blah, 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 compulsively, like, that's Tom. That's Tom for you, brother. I get it. He had some sort of religious agenda or ideology he was trying to promote. Not a good move, Tom. Don't be like Tom. Tom didn't really have a lot of he had a lot of, didn't have really any self-awareness or, you know, capacity to intelligently weave together any sort of point or premise. He was just unloading a compulsive narrative. And we don't want that. You know, that's a big L, or however, I think it's backwards, so L. L? Yeah, I don't know. That's an L, Tom. We don't need compulsive narratives and fear-provoking agendas. Nah, bro. Like, come on, get your shit together. Have you tried a thumb pick mate? I have tried them. I see the appeal. I have one right here, actually. Like this baby. Thumb picks. I don't like how thumb picks, you know, quintessentially, they're very, like, they lean into, of course, this angle, right? We'll pop it on. They're good for attacks. I'll give them that. Thumb picks are extraordinary for attacks. You know, you want a different cadence of attack, which has some value, but not really a lot of value, if I'm being honest here. Not as much value as a thumb artificial pick, like a thumbnail pick, as you would. Yes, sir. Yes. But nah, thumb picks seem dope. Honestly, I know Manali Jamal, man, he's a great guitarist. I don't know if you guys have heard Manali Jamal, like Break of Dawn, Manali Jamal, Synchrodestiny. Extraordinary compositions from like several years ago on Candy Rat. He uses a thumb pick very, very well. Some of the best stylings I've ever heard. Epic saying hippie shit, Stairway to Heaven. I'm sure you're joking, bro, but come on, bro. Get out of that mentality. We're not all 12 years old again. Like, I feel like it's a funny parallel. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really throwing salt at you guys, but in some sense, I get it. When I was 12, 13 years old, I was covering Metallica. I was covering Stairway to Heaven. You know, learning how to play the guitar, like playing the chords, being like, yeah, Stairway to Heaven. Let's go, freaking, I don't know, all the basic songs we all learn, right? But once you play guitar for like, you know, 10, 15 plus years, you're not going to be just playing Stairway to Heaven all day long. You'd be like, yeah, let's go. I haven't played Stairway to Heaven in probably like 7 years, bro. And honestly, beautiful song. I listen to Stairway to Heaven every once in a while because it's a beautiful song. But I'm not sitting here filling my palette with freaking, you know, songs that I would do when I'm like 13 years old. And, you know, with all respect, it's like, musicians got to evolve, bro. If you're not, you're probably doing something wrong. Like, if you're a musician and I mean, you could be a hobbyist. Hell, I mean, I love that for you. Maybe you're a lawyer and you pick up your guitar every once in a while and you're like, yeah, let's go, Stairway to Heaven. But most musicians, I want to see them evolve. I want to see them, if they're in a place where they're like, yeah, been doing this for 15, 20 years. And, you know, I'm imagining, at least in my experience, usually you want to evolve. You want to progress. You want to take on new music stylings. You want to maybe jump into new genres. You want to be experimental. Basically have fun. Like, what fun is it to play the same song, you know, 10 years in a row and just play it on repeat. Maybe that's nostalgic. Who knows? That's beautiful if that's what that is for you. But yeah, bro, I hear a lot of these people requesting or expecting someone, to play like stuff that's I played when I was like 13, 14 years old. But it's been a long time since I was 13, 14, and honestly, bro, I love every dimension of my musical journey. But I'm not going to go backwards, Food for thought. I don't know. I don't know. Also, hitting with something. Interesting. Okay, just getting notifications. Anyways, as we are back to this live stream, welcome to this live stream. Also, on a different note, I'm really excited. Kind of, I don't know, I thought about this organically because, we got this little angle here, right? You guys see all this? I've come to realize recently a few things. When I'm recording my live busking sessions, like, I'm just chilling at equipment station or just playing around with that stuff, the angle is, on my guitar. I mount my camera on my guitar when I live stream. Makes it convenient. I think it's a very practical way of capturing the moment, but obviously it's not like aesthetically pleasing. I think basically I purchased a really high quality what's it called? Yeah, a tripod, a portable tripod that actually condenses to a little like thing like that, like it becomes like that long. It's a beautiful tripod, perfect for POV cameras, for phones, and etc. So I basically was like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy this, and now when I busk, I'm gonna set up this portable tripod because I don't like carrying around massive tripods. Like I feel like the regular tripods for DSLRs very heavy, very bulky, but these portable tripods are beautiful and perfect. Can carry it anywhere, set it up easily, just springs open, and yeah, I can actually make it so I can capture a beautiful, very aesthetic lens. Like I can capture my whole body, my guitar, the background. I can basically record my live streams and my secondary camera footage, when I'm busking from a zoomed out perspective. So you guys can actually see, more than just the POV. I'm sure I'll have little blips and captures where I stream to camera 1 and camera 2 or have the POV. But it's just dope because I'm like, you know what? That is going to make this much more of an experience, I think. I'm stoked. Yeah. So we're getting Stairway to Heaven or not? No. I mean, what is Stairway to Heaven? It goes like... Where is it? No. No. I don't know. I'm sure I could figure it out really easily, but we're not becoming a cover artist today. Honestly, beautiful song though. We could always, take a have a giggle, don't write a thesis. Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing, brother. Thank you for sharing your unsolicited advice. But hey, bro, I don't know. I'm just being authentic to what I'm seeing, But I hear ya. Respectively, I hear ya, and honestly, bro, I love to laugh. I don't know, that's maybe not my kind of humor, but in truth, like, I like witty, like, just random, like, shock value humor, like, just witty humor. But that being said, I'll be honest, you're right, in every right. I could always take myself less seriously. Because I'll be honest, bro, hey, that's part of my struggle, bro. I'm a musician. I've been a devoted musician for like 17 years. I've thought about this a lot. That's the one thing in my life that I don't take seriously. Like I don't truly like, I'm very playful, at least for like 10 years of my life. I was, very playful. I was never being like putting too much pressure and expectations on being a musician. But at the very same time, I do in fact, just unconsciously take the creative process and the musical journey. As a musician, I do take it seriously. Like in the sense where I care about sort of the narratives and the process. And that being said, I don't know, this is just me basically nothing even to do with what you're saying. This is me kind of using this as a launch off point. Is I actually do think that a lot of people don't really, they fail to really comprehend the sort of divisive split of what the mentality it takes to be an original artist, to be authentic to your original sound versus being a cover artist. I say that, I talk about that frequently because I think it's important, especially as a YouTuber, you know, busker, whatever. Hey, man, it's a belief, it's a bias that I should probably let go of. Yeah, who cares? Just let it all go. Probably should. Eventually I will. I'm sure I'll hit to a certain point in my success or career. I'll be like, yeah, let everyone just do whatever they want and have fun with it, which is true. But again, I think as a dude who spent many, many years, in the last 10 years, I've literally been like focusing. I made that cardinal decision about 10, 11 years ago. But like, you know what? I'm going to begin to shape my own style. I'm going to begin to learn improv. I'm going to begin to stray away and cut myself from a different cloth. Break outside of that mold of just covering music and be like, oh no, I'm just a cover artist. All I do is cover music. That's what I did for freaking like 7 years. All I did, that's all I thought was like the process of musicianship, which is to some point, as I covered all my favorite artists. And I got locked into that mold where it wasn't until I made the conscious decision to be like, you know what? I'm going to choose to be an original artist. I'm going to choose to crack open that belief. And I'll be honest, underneath that belief is a lot of resistance. People, society literally like feeds you, it validates you to be a cover artist, to do what everyone else is doing. It fucking does it. It's literally like it will give you money, materialistic praise, validation, stroke your ego and be like, you're doing it. You're just a rock star. Not always, but to some degree, it's the truth. It's like, it's much easier to just be validated with cover art. Not saying you shouldn't be a cover artist, not saying you shouldn't cover art. Do whatever your heart desires. For me, it's just my heart didn't desire that. But in many rights, I think it takes a very conscious choice and a very bold, tenacious choice to actually break free from that societal sort of validated ego stroke of being like, yeah, cover artist, be in a cover band, everyone wants to hear this, everyone wants that nostalgic, part scratched in their brain, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. But again, it takes a lot of tenacity, and in many rights, you got to be like bold. You have to actually like strip away a lot of fear, a lot of resistance from other people, and to actually do your own thing. And as a dude that's been doing his own thing for like 10, 11 years, I think it's important to actually talk about these things, to think about these things, to encourage other people to be original artists, not to just like mindlessly encourage people. Not saying that's what you're doing, bro. You're just throwing out, your own meme or whatever. But I think it's important for people to think about and talk about, especially as artists, that you're allowed to be an original artist. It's beautiful to celebrate your original authentic expression. It matters. It's valuable. It's valid. It's beautiful. It's extraordinary. And I'm fortunate as a dude that's been on that path for, 10, 11 years. I figured out my own style. I've really been able to carve that successfully. And I still, I'm on that path continually. But there's many people I think that are just like locked in this like validative societal loop where like, oh no, I gotta do what everyone's doing, gotta cover this, this will pay the dollar bills, this is what people want, until a point where their creative livelihood just dies. Like it just decays until it's dead. Like let's be real, that happens all the time. But anyways, this is nor here nor there. So as much as I'm here to laugh at myself and be like, memes are so gold. It's true. But hey, bro, honestly, I'm going to use these moments to talk about things that I think are important. And I think it's important to breathe empowerment into people's originality versus, inspiring people to be like, hey, let's play Freebird or Metallica or Wonderwall a billion times. And hey, man, like, and it's not even about like the musicians, in the real world navigating, traversing those waters. Welcome to social media land 2026, where everyone's trying to chase that weird cover song dopamine hit. Everyone's gonna be like, oh man, what's trending? What can get me the most likes? Am I just now everything that associates with my likes? How many likes can I get for doing this trending song? And hey, I mean, all the power to you. We're all running and managing brands, but honestly, bro, it's a weird farce. Anyways, we're here to make music and talk about music. Oof, that needs rosin. That needs rosin. Might need to speed up this loop, I would say. Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Beautiful song. Also don't know how to play it. I can never stick to one style or sound. I have my own style, but there's times where I don't like my own style, and it makes stuff outside of it. That is, let's be real here, that is the quest. That is the challenge, if you will. Yeah, bro, like, trust, most people, when you're new, are going to be critical on themselves. It's very deeply programmed. That's the key, is you got to find your own style that you're carving that you resonate with, that you love. I mean, I'm profoundly critical on myself, bro. Hell, I've been profoundly critical on myself for like ever since I wrote any original piece ever. Now, paradoxically, the very first music I ever wrote, I loved it. I was like, whoa, that is beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. But it was like a downhill slope from there. Where it was like, from there, I was like comparing myself, contrasting this, thinking, how can I get better, do this and that, you know, writing vocal pieces and experimental pieces and hopping around genres. And that's the process. In many rights, that's the point, is you're supposed to try to figure out how to truly find which resonates with you in the heart the most, right? You know, making music that just makes you feel good. It's maybe getting out expression. Maybe it's just sacred to you in the moment. But weirdly enough, me finding my own style, this is like, as a guitarist of acoustic varieties for like 11 plus years, you know, been playing guitar for 17 years, been songwriting for about 10 and a half years, composing music for about 10 and a half years, vocalizing, composing music for about 10 years. I've been profoundly self-critical. It's only like last like 2, maybe 3 years I can confidently say that I really like my own style, that I'm like, oh man, this is like really good. This is exactly what I've been desiring to achieve, you know, since I've been writing music. That's literally been like the last 2-3 years maybe. Out of 17, 2-3 years, I'm like, oh wow, this is like special. This is my style. This is magic. I love what I'm doing here. And not to say it should take that long. Maybe it could. Maybe it depends on what you want to do or whatever. But I think it's magical that if you truly honor the process of what you love and resonate with, yes, there's going to be a process of almost like stripping away all these things that maybe don't resonate with you in some degree, or even further, there's elements of music, and I'm a firm believer in this. There's elements of music that should be sacred to you. Hell, I'll actually say that most music, until you reach a certain point, should be sacred. It should be treated as sacred. It should be intimate. You should like not do it because you're like, oh, I need to validate my ego, or I want to, you know, feel cool. I mean, maybe you can do that because you want to feel cool. That's cool too. But like, part of it's like, I think you should treat certain elements of your creative process, especially in original music, as sacred. You know, even this, like, I'm streaming, you know, I'm kind of just going off on rambles today a little bit, but I'm experimenting with loops, which is not my normal thing. Usually I do everything all at once, improvised, that's my strength. But I did not even feel the desire, I would not feel the desire to share my music, to write music, to, you know, share what I'm doing, if I wasn't like 11 years down the road of this journey in this exact style. Like if I was like 2 years in or a year in and I'm like fumbling around and still trying to figure out who I am and what my style is, this wouldn't feel good. This wouldn't feel natural. I wouldn't feel like I want to share these things with the world, because I would not be honoring the sacred alignment of how I desire to share what is flowing through within me. You know, there's many things that I will create that I will not share. I've talked about this a lot the last couple days. And I think it's important to have that. Is there's many things that I will never share on a stream, that I will never try to enact or perform. Maybe one day. It's almost like there's alignments where if you have been performing something for years and years and you're like, oh yes, this is ready to be produced and presented because, you know, it's just a part of you organically, then let it be so. But there's an element of music that I think should stay sacred. It should be an intimate endeavor between you, between maybe you and spirit, if you will, where you just create. There's no thoughts of why or how. You're not trying to do it because of XYZ person or egoic, validative, whatever. So I think it's almost like what you see, say on a stream, or what I produce or put out there, that's the stuff that is evolved or emerged from years and years of me, you know, experimenting and honoring this kind of sacred connection with what is just intimately mine. It's between me and me. And basically what I'm saying is there's a whole, it's like an iceberg, you know, the iceberg analogy. It's like this is what you see, this is what is. Like there's that little sliver and there's a big depth. The big depth is what you guys don't see goes behind all what I create and what I do creatively. You guys see just a little percentage of what I put out there, and that's beautiful because it's received and it's, you know, it sounds good, and it honestly is, it's great. Oof, I feel like that attack's a little high. But all I'm simply saying is, yeah, let things be sacred. Let your journey be sacred. Let your original compositions and the style you're creating, let it be just a personal sacred endeavor, if you will, towards you and you until it emerges. If it does. If it doesn't, then, you know, honor that. Speed up this loop here. I liked what we were kind of doing the other day, where it was more like a chord progression. Oh, my preamp. My other thing timed out. It doesn't matter. It's still playing. It's still playing. Just gotta make sure my laptop doesn't time out. What? It's connected though. Huh. Why is it not plugged? What happened here? Something timed out. Interface, for whatever reason. Interesting. Maybe I just bumped it ever so slightly and just disconnected. Yeah. Like the shirt cover of Breaking Benjamin album. Oh, word. Interesting. That's beautiful. Breaking Benjamin album. Yeah, bro, man, I gotta say, I mean, just full disclosure, or just transparently, Breaking Benjamin is like the best band, one of the best bands that ever existed. Honestly, I don't know why. It's like they've always been like Ben and his, you know, thing he does since I was like 12 years old. I've always like, he's just top tier. Everything he does, the sound, the style, it's not too much. It's just so beautiful, and the messages. I don't know. Breaking Benjamin just rule. So that's high praise. Yeah. Whoa. I think we went a little out of tune here. Way out of tune. Love it. those listening, we are in open D sharp, yeah. Nothing wrong with the friend. What I've done all life musically. Nothing wrong with that friend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oof. Like it's the simplest try. I think we all have different musical paths. Again, I don't think one is better than the other at all. I just know, in some rights, I know what works for me, or I know, there's a part what I'm drawn to within the novelty. It's almost like I live in a very weird, paradigm where I don't see another. It's not like I made a conscious choice to be like, all right, let's just want to be as novel and different as possible. It's almost like if things are not novel or novelly engaging to me, at least when I was new to music, it would never flow. It was almost like there was no choice to be like, but let's just be unoriginal and that let that flow and then maybe we'll break out of that. It was like for me it was like if I was not doing something different, maybe it's my ADHD brain, it's probably something to do with my own personality or something, I don't know. But all I know is if I wasn't doing something different, I'd be bored to tears. That's kind of the way I've always seen it. As a young kid, it was the same way. Like, if they're trying to show me something and be like, oh, let's cover this song, oh, let's do that, let's do this scale, I would just, like, my attention would not even begin to process it. Like, I'd be like, no. Like, I would just get bored to a point where I put down the guitar. And it's like, that was always the quest. It's like, how can I not put down the guitar? Like, how can I actually have fun with this process of being a musician? And I think, I figured that out quite early on because I started pretty young, but I got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to do whatever the hell is fun. I don't give a fuck about what this person says or that person's doing or society says. It's like, I'm going to ignore all those things and, take it as a grain of salt. But I'm literally just going to be like, but what is actually fun to me? And often, if not always, it's always what is different and novel and often not being done. Like, it's like, oh, that seems kind of interesting and weird and different and challenging. All right, so let's see if we can get back into what we are attempting to do. So we're basically, I don't know, I'm trying to really just wrap my mind around vocalizing some stuff here. Ain't no way, Corey Taylor, is that you? I don't know, I don't think I look that much like Corey Taylor. That dude's got a very, like, gruff, kind of traumatized, face, because he's a great musician. He's he's a intense soul. But we're not, I don't think I possess that intensity. But I get it. In this light, and I'm all, I got this light foreground in my face. I guess I emulate features of people. Yeah. More like Corey Feldman. Yikes. That's shots fired. I gotta say, that's a funny one. Because I don't know, man. Corey Feldman's, I hope he's doing well. Hope he's figuring himself out. But man, that guy's a train wreck. Like, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously, he's gone through some shit, as he's literally displayed to the public, of course, out of the sense to just help change this fucked up world. But man, Corey Feldman is, even hearing what he does, I think I saw something about Corey Feldman's, like, musically, he thinks he's like a rock star and he's doing some rock star stuff, or he thinks he is. And it's like people are kind of throwing salt at him, being, oh man, you suck. And he's like, thinks he's like some sort of rock star shreddy god. And who knows, maybe he is a good guitar player. I don't know. But it seems that he's got some pathology going. So that's a weird comparison, bro. But definitely a very strange stretch, bro. Like, I don't know about that. Alright, let's see if we can organically play together or something. We don't want to leave that in there. We don't want those harmonics in there. We don't want those harmonics. We want it fresh. Ooh, that's not what we want. Kind of missed the mark a little bit in there, but that's okay. Trying some weird chords. Okay. Oh, keeps timing out. We gotta probably lock that in somewhere else. One sec, we're gonna move our setup a little bit here. For the sake of practicality. This actually might make the sound a little bit more crisp for the perceiver. Yes, sir. No, it's gonna do that. Shit. Okay, yeah, this will do. This will do. This will be beautiful. This is what we need to do. Very nice. We can even aim our amp. I want to somehow do some weird, like, low tones, like Tibetan sounds. Yo, what's good, Dave? I'm doing great, dog. I'm doing great. Yeah. Nice. Thank you so much. I mean, the thank you, yeah, for the star, the sentiment. Hello, American patriot. Huh. We are Canadian, dog. Yeah. All I can say is full stop. I like the sense of humor, sort of. The Corey Feldman, weird take, long stretch. But I'm going to say, I mean, you guys did this to yourself, but I'm going to make the executive decision to let the homies, I'm not going to permanently ban them. Let's throw them one of those beautiful 30-minute timeout cards. Yeah. Like, I think any homies that pop on a stream and compulsively, let's see, complete user in timeout. There we go. Compulsively, like, yo, let's listen to music and let's, I don't know, blast somebody, the celebrity, or just try to, like, poke fun and sort of, I don't know, bro, you don't seem like the kind of person that's my target audience. Like, let's be clear, or let's be real here. You don't really seem to possess the self-awareness to participate in this YouTube streaming. Go find your comedic, I don't know, your comedic AI slop YouTube stream portal. That's for you, dog. That's clearly what you're seeking. So go find it, and we'll be over here. We'll be over here making music. That first note was so so flat. Feels like the high end is a little bit overwhelming on that loop here. But I like those chords. Those are some fun experimental chords. We can fix that. We can fix that. Yeah. Classroom management at its finest. I guess that is. Honestly, that's just, I mean, you come to see as a streamer, I've spoken of this once or twice, of course, but I'm even like tentatively dipping in and out. I'm just like, I'm here to just make good music, do some live streams, push myself as a musician and a YouTuber, and I'm all here for it. But of course, when I was grinding out streams for like 6 months or something, 5 maybe and a half months really, like grinding streams, and be like, let's figure out how to be a streamer, so to speak. Because I'm like, I want to share my music, but I also want to like learn how to facilitate, stream space. But like, why? What is this YouTube wilderness? How do we navigate this? In an intelligent way. And I think the rule of thumb is, it's always the same. What people's first impressions, what their first compulsive thoughts of what they choose to say, says a lot about them. This isn't the real world. This isn't like you're free to say whatever you desire. But if you make that executive decision to enter a live stream, and maybe you have a comedic approach, you're feeling playful, feeling like a meme, just like yeah, haha, yeah, let's do it. No not really, just that's what you're feeling. That's cool, dog. Like, I'm not here to judge, but we're trying to invite emotionally intelligent beings, more or less, or people that are in a place where they're here for an intention. Speak with intention. And if that's not you, then there's a little X button on the top left of your screen. You can leave. It's all good. Like, I'm not stressing. I'm not gonna take it personal. I can exercise my what's the word? Moderator rights, or whatever I am, a facilitator. Oh, getting something. Oh, just notifications from the group chat. And it always, it's in a different note. It always intrigues me and it amuses me, I guess. Part of what I like, but also I'm intrigued, I guess, about, in a neutralistic way. About the live stream spaces, like, I don't even know, bro, what half the time is going on. Like, in your guys' comment realm, in the world, in the, what you guys are perceiving, or what's going on, stressor wise, or what you're finding entertaining or amusing. Like, I don't know, I'm coming to see, and it's a similar page that you turn when you enter the performance world of busking. You don't really know a majority of the time. You gotta almost like surrender to trying to understand or know or control how people perceive you, or are perceiving the experience. It's almost like you never know why people are attaining value from what you're doing or not doing, or whatever it is. Like, whether you're performing and busking or you're live streaming, like, really, in the simplest, deepest right, it's such a randomized portal. It's a random flux. So, what you're doing, if you're like, I'm gonna speak some truth, or I'm gonna bless the audience with some good words, or I don't know, say some philosophies, or play some music, or whatever you're showing up as. You really, in many rites, cannot necessarily know why people are extracting value from what you are doing, your presence, or whatever's going on. And you probably, in many rights, should not desire to try to. You shouldn't try to control or fully comprehend why people do what they do or they don't. And it's a beautiful thing because the more you conceptualize it, it's obviously a metaphor for many things in life. Like if we're talking about romantic partnerships or, I don't know, spiritual healing or psychological healing, I think there's a very important lesson universally. Psychedelics can show you this. Powerful, authentic presence and penetrating presence can show you this. It's important to, in some rights, learn to surrender the desire to understand everything or control everything. Like in the deepest sense, it's like, if you can be like, you know what, I want to be present and observe and witness certain elements of things, but not with the actual like sense of trying to fully understand or conceptualize it, realizing how limitation or your limitations may occur. That's beautiful. Like that's a beautiful thing, I would say. You just gotta sort of see in a playful way how things can be or things operate. And I think YouTube is a beautiful metaphor for that. At least YouTube streaming. You don't really know what's going on in the minds or the collective of whatever's happening. You don't know where, why, or how people will receive a stream necessarily. And that's kind of the point, I'd say. Let us return to what we were doing. Let's do something as we were returning to yesterday, as we were. Very Astaston. Astaston, I swear, in Internal Flight has one of those chords in there. I think it's the second chord transition, the flat chord. He does some weird stuff with that. In a very similar cadence too. Very Astas. Astas is like, oh, let's just slow down randomly to a sub-perpetual nothingness. Try to make a clip right here that is running a create a meditative journey that maybe we'll share as content. Where's my rosin? Where did I place it? There it is. Hey, you're good at managing that and staying focused. I feel so. Well, now I'm actually focusing. I'm focusing fully. That's the thing is, man, I cannot express enough how distracting. Like the whole point of busking, in my experience, is how well can you perform when you're freaking distracted by like so many things. Like, and it's not about distractions that are like, you know, a person walking by or you hear a train coming by. It's like talking about like a fucking billion distractions. Like, I mean, at this street festival and at Kitsilano yesterday, it was like overstimulating to the max. Where I was like, whoa, there is like immense amounts of distractions. Like, we're talking weird little like barbecue of Asians blasting top 100's garbage radio songs over there, and then we're talking, you know, a bunch of people playing some game of soccer, screaming over here, and we're talking I don't know, like volleyball festival right over there, and then we're talking other performance over here and busker over there, all in a simple concentrated area. On top of all the livelihood of street festival goers just zooming through and bike people zooming through, and it was weird. And then, then you got like people smoking a bunch of weed over here and all this, and I'm just like sort of like, huh. It's, I mean, all that's great, all that's beautiful, and how all that is a testament to how well one can ground themselves. And I honestly was all about it. Yesterday I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm focused. I'm focused. But after an hour or two of like doing all that, like, trying to busk here and then wandering here and going to Kitsilano there, and I'm just like, I'm like, why? I'm like, I might be making this too hard for myself. And that's kind of like, in a part of it, I'm like sitting there thinking, returning home, thinking to myself, I'm like, that was a beautiful day. That was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. But I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, but there's a core reason why I like live streaming. There's a core reason why I like live streaming in forests. There's a core reason why I like going around Coquitlam, where I live 5-10 minutes away, and like busking and hanging out with the Coquitlam people and performing there, in chill Skytrain terminals. Like there's something to be said about pushing yourself and challenging yourself, absolutely, and there's a lot to be said. But then there's also so much to be said about not challenging yourself. That is not making things harder for yourself. You're like, oh, word, like, if you have that leisure, which is, again, this is the whole point. It's like, I love live streaming, for many different reasons. Sometimes I'm like, all right, live streaming, it's, it is what it is. But it's like, when I look at it in some objective lens, the potential for live streaming, like to realize, oh, I can perform, play music, connect with people so seamlessly. Doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter, the multitude of distractions that might be present in the world or whatever. It's just such a beautiful way to do this thing, to put up my art, to just see and experience this experience with less distractions. Obviously, there's some distractions of people interacting, and I want to, make a beautiful live stream experience. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, there's something so magical, but the potential of what live streaming is, especially on a larger level. And there's, something so magical about thinking, you know what, I can just go into a forest and, live stream and play music for people, and that can be like a beautiful essence of what I do, alongside going to challenge myself to play in street festivals and places, or just busking setups that is nothing but pure challenge and distractions. So I don't know, all I'm simply saying is, yeah, it's funny how the contrast that appears, especially with what I do typically, is what I'm doing is very, very, of course, very tame. It's very gentle. It's meditative. I'm not trying to be like, hey, like hop out at people with their attention and be like, look what I'm doing. I mean, maybe to some degree they're just like, maybe they see my style or hear a panflute and they're like, whoa, that's beautiful. But it's like, I'm trying to play into the opposite sort of denominator of like, I'm trying to make it more like a gentle, organic experience that people can like lean into. It's not like, and I don't know, there's obviously value for all of it. All street performers have different dynamics where some of them are like very like, woof, they're just trying to like stand out and be shock value all day long, which is great. All the power to them. But it's an interesting parallel to navigate, where I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm literally trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to be like, how can I blend in a gentle meditative dynamic in a place that's likely not very gentle and meditative, like the city or the wherever. It's great. It's beautiful. And it resonates with me personally. I think I'm just gonna take this thing off for now. This little pop guard. There's gotta be better pop guards. I mean, I guess there is little foam, just pop guards. That's probably what I need to equip. I feel like it would be hard if you're not 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, mentality is everything. Nervous system regulation is everything. With all of these things, YouTube, live streaming, busking, you literally, if you're not regulated, you're not gonna fare well. It will just the city will eat you and spit you out. You'll just be like, oh man, like life. But even then, when you're like, you know what, I'm on top of the world, life is good, I'm great, and you're regulated, you also got to just, it's kind of like, this is the core takeaway I notice continually is part of, being an artist. This isn't just about being a musician or busking or whatever, but part of being an artist is you got to be aligned with your intention as an artist. Like, you really do. It's like, if you're trying to like be something you're not, or do someone else's thing, or you're not doing something from like an intentional centered space necessarily. I mean, maybe you are to some degree, you're trying to figure yourself out, sure, that's cool, but I think it's like more about the intention. Like, for me, a lot of the time, the reason why I can like, boldly jump in the direction and be like, all right, like, I'm ready to be received by the universe, is because my intention is so resonant with me. It's like, it's the same reason why I've, taken this action phase on my YouTube channel, and an extension to how I navigate my busking act is like, I feel, very aligned and resonant with what I do musically, where I'm proud, in a sense, like, yeah, I'm ready to like perform in places and put myself out there, really like ready. And if it wasn't so, like if I was like, oh man, what I'm doing doesn't feel like right, it doesn't feel like there's any intention, it doesn't feel like I understand my why, or it's just not intentionally aligned, that is pivotal. And I think to some degree that's like probably the most important thing, is whether it's a YouTuber or artist or a painter or whatever you want to do, in a creative pursuit, I would say, if you are navigating this world and you're like, you know what, I'm confident, I'm ready, I'm doing this, but you're not intentional, like you don't even understand why you're doing half the time you're doing, you don't have any, core values infused, you don't even understand why you're doing it. And many rights, the why is pretty obvious in many rights. You should do it because you want to heal people or inspire people or empower people. Like, that's kind of the trifecta of what I often have surfaced over the years. It's like, I literally just want to empower, inspire, and help or heal people. It's literally like, that's it. And the more that I've like gravitated to what that looks like for me, it's been obvious. Where I'm like, oh yeah, like I love, this is clearly part of what I desire to be doing. But yeah, so I think, mental health and somatic health is huge. But weirdly enough, I think even I was thinking about this before I did my stream and was like trying to do the street festival thing before I got shut down yesterday. I was getting this mentality where I was like, I was a bit anxious and being like, man, this is going to be an interesting experiment. But I had this interesting little thought flow through where I was just like, but yeah, but isn't it exciting to be received in this intention? Like, this was the idea, and this happens every once in a while when I busk, or when I'm trying to busk, or when I'm new to busking. I get this little like mentality, this little blip where I think, but yeah, maybe you feel anxious. Oh yeah, things could go not great or wrong, but just the feeling, like just the flash of a thought of one person, just walking by and being like, oh whoa, there's this dude playing guitar and doing maybe a violin bow thing or panflute. He's just showing up as he is, and then thinking, oh, that's pretty neat, or like, whoa, that's unique, or like, wow, that guy's just doing his thing. Whether they stop to respond or whether they stop to give me money, it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm showing up exactly as I desire to be. I'm like, I'm doing my sound healing / guitar thing. And an element of that too is when I'm live streaming, some people, especially younger generation, they like see that and they kind of just like nod, or they'll just get excited, or maybe they get like ADHD'd up where they're just like, oh shit, this guy's a YouTuber, or oh shit, he's trying to live stream, or oh, he's trying to be a streamer or something. And that gets them like elated. They're like, yes, like, oh damn, someone's doing it. And like that kind of shit is like, that's kind of like the mentality I think is important to feed. It's like, doesn't matter if you fail or succeed or who knows how you're received. There's a little, if you can imbue the narrative, where like, you know what, I'm showing up as I love to show up and as I desire to show up. And if people, doesn't matter how they receive you, they kind of be like, oh, that's cool that person's just trying to do that. That's pretty powerful. And that was kind of where my mind was at, whereas I was like, I don't even care necessarily if I succeed. I mean, I wanted to succeed. Hell, I would have been there for as long as humanly possible before I got shut down. But that's what let me cut through the anxiety. I was like, oh, there's going to be people that are like, oh, here's a dude with a guitar and a pan flute and live stream or whatever. who's in the middle of a festival doing it up. Like he's just boldly setting himself, he's setting up and doing his thing. And that's cool. They may not stop, they may not. There was a handful of people that did stop and gave me some sincere gestures and love and asked about what I do. But yeah, it's like there's people I can only imagine where they're like, whoa, this guy's going for it in the middle of a freaking festival, which yeah. So that felt good. Where I was like, the mentality made sense. Where it's like in the midst of the fear, I was like, I don't care. I don't care if I'm like feeling a bit of anxiety or fear or apprehension. It's like I felt like okay, but for those moments where one person's gonna look up and be like, whoa, this guy's trying. He's doing it. And it's like clearly uncomfortable or is uncomfortable. That is powerful. That's a powerful thing to witness. And that's where my mind went to. And sometimes that doesn't even apply, where I'm like, I'm like in the opposite. Haven't been here in a while. I'm the one who always saked about your hair. Interesting. I don't recall that much. I mean, that's a thing. I appreciate your love for the hair and the intrigue. It's funny, I've been telling myself I need to cut my hair for literally like a month and a half, maybe longer. I've been like, yeah, I'm gonna get my hair cut next week. And part of it, it's like, it's hard for me to like, I've never gone to a formal salon because I think I need to go to like a high quality salon and get a master stylist and fucking pay $60 to get my hair cut. But my hair is still, it's about down to there and it's comfortable. I cut it, I tie it up and, keep it reserved. But in the next little bit, I definitely want to, spend the $60, go to a master salon or whatever, and just get like, cut my hair down to there or something, or like there, and get like I want it to be like a textured, wavy shag. Like I don't want to just have my hair as it is. It gets in the way, it looks like, very psychedelic rock like, but I want it to be like a wavy textured shag, and it needs to be done in such a way. It's got to be like, professionally done. And I've never done that actually. So it's been a process of me slowly finding the right style and the right place that I can do it and just throwing that $60 or whatever at the salonist and getting that done properly. But at this point, it's all just locked in. I'm always known the difference. Yeah, but all I can say is all the power to you or to that or the intrigue of hair. Because, hey, hair is dope. I mean, honestly, I think about this often, weirdly enough. Long hair, especially on a dude, long hair as a whole, on a man, woman, on a woman, obviously, it's just radiant. It's just beautiful. But of course, long hair on a man, it's like, it's powerful. Like, it's not even, it's like, kind of like what the ancient natives, the aboriginals would feel. It literally feels like long hair on a man is energy. It's like you feel the energy. It's a level of like, sure, it's a statement, like musically, it looks chill and it, but I think in many rights, it's almost like, to me, it's very rare that I see a dude with short hair that they look empowered or like autonomous. I mean, if they're bald and they're a monk, legendary. But in many rights, short hair for me, it just feels like an energetic cop out. It feels like a complete cop out. Now it can be done very tastefully, but I think men are supposed to have like at least medium length to long hair. Now it's obviously all stylistic choice. If you're in the military or a training martial artist, sure, rock a buzz cut all day long. But I think that long hair or medium long hair, that's just a natural human experience, right? It's very primal. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it'll look great. I think it'll look good. It's a very, like, I think it would fit my face very well to have this kind of haircut, but I gotta invest in it. Yeah. Hey, welcome. What's good? What is good? It's considered vitality or virality. Yeah. Vitality, I think you meant. balls from extremes and stress. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I know I'm fortunate my genes... Oh, it's kind of clipping out a bit. I got very good genes, but also more so, I honor my health invariably. And have, stress levels, genetic, epigenetic coding, physiological, physical health. Like, I've spent literally like 16 years of my life, and I'm 31, like really learning to explore and honor health. It's like, as a like 15-year-old, it was very clear in my mind. I was like, I'm not going to, like, I basically went on a spiritual, I had like a spiritual awakening that was more like, a whole awakening to honor my health, my spiritual health, my physical health, my physiological health. When I was 15, I was like, I want to do everything in my power to honor the mind, to honor the brain health, the body, etc., etc. And I mean, I've been an athlete for most of my life, but this was like when I began my quest to study the mind, health science, the body, training protocols, supplement protocols, etc., etc. And all I'm saying is, yeah, there's a lot you can do. A lot you can do, of course, to honor your health and your body. And you should desire to do it. And in all truth, these aren't things that you should be thinking about when you're 50 years old and like, yeah, let's go. Now I'll start thinking about it. No, you should be thinking about these things. You should be thinking like 20, 30 years in the future. You should be, ideally. You should be like, how am I formulating my brain health and my physiological health 10, 20 years down the road? Because that's where you're actually addressing it. That's what you're actually affecting. Like, you are the product the last 10 years plus of the choices you've made that are honoring your health. So I guess all I'm simply saying is, yeah, that sucks. And that's unfortunate. And it's a very real thing, losing your hair to stress or having like, physiological decline due to bad health choices or just, allotments of life compounding and not learning about how to honor your health, just respectively. But I think the vast array of how we experience health are things that we should have avoided or things we should have implemented more so 10, 15 years, before. It's about preventative care. It's about being like, oh, wait a second. If you can honor your health, start now, of course. Start today if that's your thing. But like, these are things often, if you want to, honor your physiological health or your genetic health, these are things that you should do like 10, 20 years in preventative ways, preventative measures. That's what's going to affect your health more so. Not about like, okay, now I'm going to drop everything, make a choice. Now, great, that's beautiful, but it's like, we are the product of like what's been occurring the last like 10 plus years. And yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is repeating to some degree, in a circle is like, yeah, it's better to make preventative measures or engage in preventative measures and, learn about your health as soon as you can and act on it. It's not like a thing you can just put off and be like, oh no, I'll be okay. I'm 20 years old. I'm young and I'm strong. And then, oh, I'm 30 years old. I'm young and I'm strong. It's like, no, like the time is now. It's like, you gotta, it doesn't mean fixate on it, but it means like, it's like, it's a weird belief system to act like, oh, but I'm young, I'm resilient, I'm strong, and like, I'm never gonna experience cognitive and physiological decline. Like, I don't know. As a 15-year-old, in my mind, it was clear as day. I'm like, I'm going to do everything in my fucking power to make sure I'm, like, well healthy until, like, my 70s or 80s. And I don't know, like, who knows in the greater context, but there's a lot you can do to honor your health. Like, that's basically all I'm saying. It's like, there is a lot. And I'm a firm believer in doing those things. And the simplest right, I'm also, I'm a trainer, movement coach, athlete of sorts, and various this and the other, but, in a loving way. It's like, not only is there a lot you can do, but there's a lot you should desire to do. There's always more you can learn about and imply and implement. Like, that's kind of like the loving message. It's like, it's never about being like, but damn, I gotta do more, I didn't do more, I did less, or whatever. It's not. It's about being like, there's always more you can learn. There's always more you can apply. There's always more you can explore and figure out, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's like, yes, There's always all these incredible, innovative ways to honor your health, your body, your physiological, your somatic body, and your psychological body, of course. And all these things. Like, it's exciting. It's beautiful stuff. Like, we're in 2026. There's so much beautiful stuff you can apply. Incredible amounts of resources and knowledge. I found that was like the epicenter of a lot of like what I remember taking away when I was studying to be a trainer. I was like learning about being like, yeah, all these things and ways people gotta honor the health and honor chronic this and prevent chronic diseases and illnesses and blah 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 and all these ways. And the essence of it I took away is like the whole point of being a trainer or having a trainer in your life is literally just to remind you of all the extraordinary whys in your reality, of why you do actually already desire to show up for yourself, to nourish yourself, to honor your health. Like, it's almost like there's a billion different whys. Like, you could, like, you know, if you've forgotten many rights, like why we all go through our days and we don't already thrive and, you know, operate from a place where we're honoring our bodies and nourishing our bodies, it's because we've forgotten. We've just simply forgotten all these beautiful whys. And weirdly enough, that's often what a personal trainer or any kind of trainer, coach, fitness aficionado, or whatever, is trying to literally do. Is they're trying to remind you. They're literally just trying to, like, you have a client or a session with a person and a trainer, and they're going to literally just be like, all right, let's talk about it. Like, what are your beliefs about, like, what do you even understand all these beautiful reasons, all these whys that you can weave into your reality of why? It's like almost becomes like overwhelmingly clear that there's so many whys. There's so many beautiful reasons that we should, you know, almost like ecstatically and enthusiastically desire to engage in all these beautiful remedies and nourishing activities and mentalities and resources. It's almost like when we've fundamentally forgotten our why, like we've stepped away for whatever reason, we've suppressed maybe our why. Like when people are living in profound dysfunction, you know, their physiological and their physical and mental health is very dysfunctional. It's because they've let that, they don't understand like a core foundational essence of why they're doing what they're doing. Like they just forgotten, you know, they've forgotten the why. They just need a reminder. They just need a simple loving reminder of being like, why have you forgotten, like, you know, how good it feels to do this exercise or to eat this food or to, you know, engage in this thing or that thing and this and that. It's like they've just become desensitized or numbed even to what it actually is they desire to operate from, and they just need to be reminded. And that's kind of what a personal trainer literally does in real time, is they're like holding space for that why. They're holding people accountable, be like, hey, like there's this beautiful world of whys that exist and what you probably already know that you want to engage in, and if you just step into that, you yourself can change your life. It's not that hard. Nah, dog. I'm sure you're kidding, Gemis or whatever, but dog, I don't. We could talk all day long, like addressing Gemis in a very subtle way, in a very broad, you know, neutralistic way. If a person is engaging a commercial substance, like Gemis just underlined jokingly, if a person, I say this to people, you know, when it occurs, if a person's like, oh, but I love, you know, insert explicit commercial substance that people abuse. Like if a person's like, oh, but I love this. This is one of my favorite compounds, or I don't know, I'm really into this commercial scheduled substance. I always look to the same default where I'm like, you, my friend, you do not understand the brain or neurochemistry at all. Like that's it. That's the only reason why you yourself, I mean, there's many reasons, but if you're a person that's like, oh no, but illicit scheduled commercial substance, this is my choice of neurochemical activity. You, my friend, don't understand the brain and have an obsolete understanding of how neurochemicals operate in your brain. That's it. That's the only reason that you're like, oh no, but I want to engage in this weird illicit scheduled substance or whatever. It's because you're just don't understand that there's better ways to operate your neurochemical experience. There's better ways to engage within your neurochemicals. That is dopamine and etc. It's like if you are engaging in like illicit substances and you genuinely believe that that's the way to go. It's like no, you're living in an obsolete narrative and you have no idea. Like you just need to realize, you need to educate yourself, you need to experience like the world of neurochemical activity that exists far beyond scheduled illicit substances, that are destructive. It just means you don't understand neurochemicals. You don't understand dopamine. It's literally that's it. It's like you're like, oh, I just don't understand neurochemicals or how to operate them or how to, modulate them or manage them. And then your lack of understanding or education about neurochemicals is translating into you engaging in illicit substances that are completely destroying your brain. And that's sad. That sucks. But I always kind of return to that same sort of narrative where I'm like, if a person's like, yes, substance abuse, let's go. I'm not saying most people even say that. They shouldn't. But and it's a serious thing, I guess. But it's like if a person's advocating for the use of illicit, substances, they themselves are operating in an obsolete narrative. They don't know that there's a beautiful world of neurochemical experiences out there that are way better. And they just need to learn that, I guess, or learn more about the brain itself. But it is what it is. Obviously, we don't all have that, that ability or that leisure or convenience, I guess. Song How Soon Is Now. Huh. That's a nice song name. I have no idea what that is, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a lot. It gets very psychological, of course. I find it very intriguing. Do you know English group Smiths? I do know of them. The Smiths are pretty dope. Susan, I'm sorry to hear that. My hair started falling out when I was going through a divorce. Yeah, it's... stress. Stress. Hope. I've been playing around with these weird shapes. They're pretty cool. Yeah. Oof, that was such an interesting shift. Let's try some low chords. Let's try these shapes, but low again. So here. Interesting. Oh, damn. Yeah. Hey, I want to learn the guitar. What should I do? Hey, how are you, man? I'm great. Wow, there we go. Wow, my neck was stiff. Interesting. Electric guitar, guitar, electric too good. Is that so, G? Huh. People need to exercise, get dopamine levels up, and help alleviate depression. Exercise definitely works. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, well, that's what I mean. It's like the simplest piece of what I was simply saying was people need to experience a healthy neurochemical experience, facilitating that through exercise, through healthy dopamine, so cold plunges, social connection, community. Um, Maybe it's engaging in, I don't know, supplement protocols that just balance the cortisone levels. It's just pure awareness. Like if people are like, you know, trying to act like all neurochemical activity or etc. is like some sort of like it's all the same, they're just revealing that, they need to educate themselves. They need to learn about and expose themselves and experience healthy dopaminergic experiences or full neurochemical experiences. But yeah, exercise, of course, I'm a proponent of exercise all day long. I think I've done it for so much of my life, and I'm in love with it. Yeah, it's great. It's why I've studied it, and been an athlete for so many years. Hey, I want to learn guitar. What should I do? Wow, what a beautiful question. I mean, if you're still here, sweet. And I was kind of just zoning out right there. It's funny because just a quick thought is like, I love a lot of people, or not a lot of people, a couple people, usually guitarists. I've seen them pop in. Usually they have like a weird sort of inflection in the way they introduce this thought. They're often like, brother, you should play more arpeggios, more chords. Which is valid, of course. We all should play more chords and arpeggios. It's basically the essence of good composition is creative, almost like I would call it chord theory. You understand like, the essence of how to connect chords and melodic ideas. And often, what I explore is not using that sort of immediate chord theory. I'm very apt to lead into lead guitar play. That's my strength. That's what I'm attracted to. Less rhythmic, more lead. Both are beautiful, and sometimes I interplay both. But often I'm doing lead elements. Like that's what I do. It's like tapping and freaking harmonics and layering and melodic ideas. And it's all like I'm soloing basically. I'm doing lead guitar elements. Rhythmic guitar elements is the ones you hear that are very like chord based, where it's just blap, blap, blap. It's like 4 chords or very rhythmic playing, which is beautiful for what it is. But anyway, what I was doing just now, like a minute ago, was I was stretching that part of my mind where I'm like, okay, let's just try to experiment with purely creative, rhythmic chord, like creative, like transposed chords. And it's a strain. It sounds beautiful, but that's very like straining to the brain sometimes. So you gotta like, change your lead finger or change your root note over and over again and do weird finger stretches. Like it's mentally straining stuff, but it's so beautiful. And I find it's funny when some people, comment, they're like, more chords, you gotta take it back a notch and do more chords, more this or that. But it's funny because if you really pay attention to most of the way that I play, there's like little telltale signs that I'm exhibiting the exact, like I'm basically doing like the skeletons of lots of different chord connections and alignment, but it's just not in an entry level way. Like if a person was like, but I expected you to do G, D, A minor, like that's what I want. That's what I want all day long. Or go into C and F and like, come on, let's go. That's the expectation of like a chord progression. It's like I'm doing chord progressions, but they're not happening in a linear way. Like they're happening in a very like different way, and it's beautiful because I don't know. I just find it interesting because sometimes musicians just love to reveal how they may not understand theory or understand what's happening in front of their eyes as much as they need or as they might think. But anyway, sorry, I completely derailed that. I'm probably gonna pop off the stream pretty quick because I want to kind of do a cold plunge and I don't know, just probably get ready to go to the gym actually in the next hour. I'm excited. I'm officially haven't been injured for 5 days, so I've been doing tons of strength training, and yeah, we gotta love the gym. But yeah, hey, I want to learn the guitar. What should I do? I don't know if the homie's still here. If you are, what's good? Welcome to this channel. All I could say is how. Okay, so you want to learn the guitar. If you've never picked up the guitar, like you want to learn the guitar, um, so I'm assuming you're like 0 to 1 month or 0 to 1 year experience. Are you in a phase where you have picked up before and you've picked it up and put it down and, tried and failed? You just can't commit or discipline because you get mental blocks? Or is it just like you've never done it ever and you just want to start for the first time, more or less ever? I'm gonna, I guess, answer the first one. Like, I'm gonna assume that you maybe are 0 to 1 year and you've never done it really, and you just want to try for the first time ever. I would say, um, firstly, obviously, it's good to identify what kind of guitar you want to play. Do you want to play an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar? I'm very apt to suggest, acoustic guitar, steel string. That's what my focus is. But I started with a electric actually when I was about 9 years old. Actually, well, I started technically with an acoustic. It was like a half size to play the first couple chords. Didn't really like that when I was like 8 years old or something. At 9, I got a Yamaha. That was like a tiny, cheap Yamaha, the first electric ever. But it wasn't really till I invested in a Jackson at about, I think, 11. I invested in a Jackson. Took all the money that I'd saved from every birthday and every Christmas thing for like 5, 6 years, and then just bought a Jackson. And it cost me like $900 or something. And that Jackson was how I learned how to play the guitar. And honestly, no matter what you choose, there's no wrong. I think it's important just like maybe go to a Lon McQuaid or go to a guitar store if you have friends that have guitars. Let yourself just explore before you ever pick up a guitar. I mean, pick up a guitar if it's just like your resin. You're like, oh, it's in front of me, and that's your immersion. But it's helpful to learn, what kind of guitar you want to play. Like, do you want to play an electric? Do you want to do some cool like shredding power chords and play like your favorite guitar riffs and shred, or maybe do you want to do some cool acoustic fingerstyle stuff, or do you want to just play the basis of acoustic chords so you can sing over top of it? I would say when you're new to guitar, the most important part is whatever it is you're attracted to that allows you to have fun, that evokes joy, that evokes passion. Because it doesn't matter, like, if you're 2, 3 years in and you pick it up and you get mental blocks and credit blocks, and that's a whole different story. But if you're completely new, you've never played basically, and you're like, I just want to bridge the world from nothing to now, let yourself follow those threads of joy. Like, just see how you can have as much fun as humanly possible in the experience of being a guitarist. Whether that's like, maybe you're like, what, I really like Oasis, or I don't know, you really like Avenged Sevenfold, which I did when I was like 11. Or you like, whatever bands you like, listen to those artists, like just romanticize and be like, oh man, those guys are dope. Like they're having fun, they're shredding, playing some cool stuff. It's almost like as a kid, I mean, I was a kid when I learned. For me, it was all about what is fun, what feels cool, what makes you feel like, you're just like, man, this is like, it like evokes almost passion and joy. Makes you feel like you like articulate a dream in your mind of like, oh, maybe I want to go on stage one day and just like rock out and throw some kicks on stage and jam with my homies, and I don't know, whatever it is, like feed the joy. It's not about like fixating on like, all the scales and technical elements, because when you're new, like this is the element, is like feed the joy, find a guitar you like, find a guitar style that you like, be like, what do you really like? Do you like rocking out on an electric guitar? Probably most people do, so that's probably part of the answer. Find a nice electric guitar that you fuck with, and you're like, yeah, let's go. And the second element that's important to understand, which I talk about often, is you got to develop calluses, right? You got to develop finger strength. So when you're extremely new, like 0 to 1 year, you got to give yourself patience and grace, because your hands have not developed, at all, basically. And the calluses are not even developed at all. So all I'll say is when you're new to guitar, recognize that doing like basic stuff is going to be, it's going to feel challenging. It might even appear painful. Hell, as a 9, 10 year old, everything was painful. Everything didn't have calluses. It was like physically painful. And I couldn't do bar chords, couldn't do anything. And that's the point, is like, give yourself grace. But like, you know what? Your fingers need to develop. Strength-wise, callus-wise. Once they do, a whole world opens up. Like once you have calluses on your fingers, everything, like legatos, that is sliding, hammering on, pulling off, all becomes immediately easier. Everything comes a little more naturally. So it's 0 to 1 year. Let yourself develop calluses. Find a guitar you love. Find the guitarists, musicians that you're just like, yeah, these guys are dope, or whatever. And find, that joy and passion within it, because that's important, I would say. Now, when you're talking, 2, 3, 5, 10 plus years, everything kind of evolves in a different direction, but it should all be kind of rooted in that same cardinal thing. What is cool? What is fun? What is joyful to you? No one else matters. No one else's journey matters. No one else's perspective. Like, they're like, yeah, but you should learn this or do that. Sure, that's great, if that works for them. But, no one else's perspective matters. That's the sort of the last kind of cardinal part of it, is only your perspective. What you naturally find is attractive to you and awakens joy and passion and works for you is the way. No one else is going to walk the path for you. No one else's journey is going to be the path that you're walking. And this is, again, assuming you're, I don't know, going to be a guitar or musician. I don't know. But it's just like, and it's an important thing to recognize, is like, people can give you all the advice in the world and you can take all the advice in the world, but none of that really matters, because it's about you individually, how you are experiencing this journey, how you are learning, what you are attracted to personally, like whatever it is. And it's all, whatever it is, that is the way. Like, maybe you're just like, you know what? Like those harmonics, those sound good. I want to learn those. Like maybe it's, I don't know, whatever it is, tapping, harmonics. For me, that was major. Around year 6 or 7, or maybe year 7, I was like really attracted to harmonics. Like I was like pinch harmonics, slap harmonics, everything with harmonics. I was insanely into it. I knew how they were very difficult and very unnatural, but 11 years down the road, now harmonics is like my specialty. It's my strength. But there was a point where I just heard harmonics. And I immediately was like, that is so beautiful. That is so, like, it's just so powerfully attractive that I knew that was what I needed to focus. And yeah, that is going to appear in many different ways. Like if you're just like, you know what, I like A minor chords, or minor chords as a whole. You're just like, you really like B chords, or whatever it is, flat chords. It's like, there's elements of music that you're going to like resonate with. If you can listen into that as much as you can, then that is going to be like the roadmap to what is going to help you find your own style. Anyways, I could talk about that for a while, but that's kind of the essence of it. Yeah, can you request the song Dear God? Interesting. I honestly don't know how to play that song. Beautiful song, though. Beautiful things to see is look at the neck and see the glint in the light. Yeah, bottom 3 are just too thin to see. Just look at the neck. Interesting. Wait, what? Interesting observation. I'm actually a right-handed player. It's just flipped because it's going in this way. Mental health music is de-stressor, so is chocolate. Yeah. Music is healing, sound healing all day long. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, you can see. Maybe, yeah, it's the weird. I'm sure that looks weird that there's. My bass strings are here, and of course, yeah, it's all just the lighting. Well, anyways, I think with this, we shall put it close to the stream. You know, it's a beautiful day. I think we're gonna go out and hang out in nature and meditate, process, get ready to go to the gym, and do that for a period. You know, I think we've been feeling very attracted to reflecting deeper on just like, I think we might make a video about, I don't know, maybe just like how to busk, how my experience busking, kind of just do a random deep dive, like a solo talk of like, you know, if that's something you guys are interested in at all. I'm just curious, like from an observer, from an audience observer, like if you're like to see a video, the person was like, okay, these are some challenges I experienced with busking, or this is what I've learned so far in busking this, and blah blah blah. Because I mean, there's a lot of like genuine, like almost like spiritual lessons that I've extracted from this, and yeah, I might just go in the forest and just record a nice long format video, just going in deep depth, because it's been so relevant to my own journey. But I think there's some powerful like spiritual lessons. Maybe that's what we'll call it, like some spiritual, three spiritual lessons that I've learned, or like powerful lessons that I've learned from learning to busk or just busking. Because there's been a lot. I've been freaking diving deep lately. It's been like a huge part of my life lately, which you know often is, but even deeper. Must be tough using scissors. I used to have ambidextrous when I was born with that. Do you think it keeps you centered? A day in the life of you. Yeah. Day in the life of me. I've done something similar to that. A day in the life of me. And it looks very interesting. I mean, just, you know, in the sense where it's, right now my ankle's injured, but the day in the life of me is like very, you know, it's, everything you see. I play guitar, compose, I stream, reflect, go for runs, cold plunges, usually go try to busk, you know, as the last couple weeks. If not, then I go to the gym, or I just like sometimes sit with psychedelics. Like it's a very wide variety, but all I can say is the core theme of what my day of life is very like health oriented. It's almost like paradoxically kind of makes sense of why I was like talking, you know, so arduously about like I'm a firm believer that you should split open the societal model. Like, you know, it breathes, and it's like this is a thing that weaves into everything I do. It's like a lot of people, they're locked in a paradigm where they're like, oh no, but 9 to 5, that's all that is. Oh, but this, that, this stressor, that stressor, you can't this, that. I'm like a dude that's, you know, I'm 31 years old. I've been like actively penetrating societal models for like 16 years of my life. Like whether we're talking about in every right of how it is. Like I've literally had the desire to be a professional artist since I was like 9 years old. So for me, that has been extraordinarily intense and challenging. It's basically for most of my life, society was basically telling me that I'm doomed to fail. What I'm doing, you know, it was like instilled in my belief. Everyone around me, my parents, you know, my parents were supportive more or less, but still they were like deeply rooted in the belief of like, you know, you have to succeed in society in such a way. And as much as, you know, I have the capacities to succeed in a quintessential way, like I've worked many jobs that I easily can do, and, you know, I can apply myself to anything I want to do, but what I actually want to do, you know, is be a professional performance artist and be a professional YouTuber. Like those are my core mechanisms of what I'm building my life to be. And again, what I'm simply saying is I'm a firm believer in penetrating the paradoxes of what a lot of people think are the way things are. Like if you think, oh, but I have to work a 9 to 5. I mean, yeah, you got to work a job for most of your life, and most of my life I have too. But you also should honor your health. You should realize that there's nothing worth sacrificing your passion, your purpose, your health, everything, your livelihood of everything for. It's almost like it's important to actually consciously challenge the societal models of what you've been told is the way to succeed or thrive or operate. It's not about dropping everything one day and be like, okay, I got to change my life now, tomorrow. And suddenly you're like, okay, because, you know, I don't know, you want to live a different reality, and maybe you think, oh, but one other person, they just have a different reality because they were privileged or raised up. It's like, no, that's actually not the way it often operates. Often it's about you slowly processing and acclimating and making decisions that over years and years and years and years actually begin to align. Like you're planting seeds of different beliefs that desire to live in a different reality, that over years and years and years and years, it slowly begins to shift into something that's different. And it starts with challenging societal models. You're like, is this really the job I want to live? Is this really the relationship I want to have? Is this really the family construct I want to have? Is this the training protocol I want to have? You know, it's like you have to basically recognize that you do not fundamentally have to compromise any element of your life, and you should challenge the things that are not serving you. It doesn't mean that you're going to wake up one day and overnight everything's changed. No, it means you should desire to envision actionable steps to align yourself with a different reality. And I think paradoxically, a lot of people are like locked in. They think like, no, societal models is all that is. Like, this is the only way that there is. And to think about something beyond that is almost painful. And I'm just coming to say that I think you should think about these things. Like, if you're a person listening, you're like, man, I think there might be a better way to live my life. It doesn't mean you got to drop everything and radically change your existence tomorrow, but think about those things. Feed those thoughts, plant those seeds, and challenge those societal models of being like, oh, but this is the only way to operate because of XYZ. You got to be bold enough to challenge the societal models. And this is kind of the epicenter of what I'm saying is you have to be bold. You have to, like, if to live your authentic reality, you got to like boldly challenge these models and do it for years and years and years, even in the face of resistance, because you're going to meet resistance. There's going to be people telling you like, oh, no, you can't succeed. No, you can't live an abundant life. No, like, we're all miserable. We're all depressed. Like, you can't live this reality. You're like, oh, no, like, that's a crazy, you don't follow your dream or don't do that. Not saying, I mean, who knows? We all live in different realities, but you're going to be met with so much resistance in the early years of trying to align yourself with a different reality. That's the truth. And how, as a dude that's been on that quest for like 16 plus years, I gotta say, for the first like 5, 6 years, that's a deeply woven thing. It's very challenging to see that almost all of society is almost like resisting the thing that you are manifesting and aligning with. But again, now once you're on the other side of it, like once you're like, oh wait, I am a fully fledged, you know, whatever it is, entrepreneur, artist, or whatever it is you want to do, once you've been actually like aligning yourself with that for a while, not only do you realize that that's what you've always desired to do and you can do it, you realize that your role is sacred and powerful and is deeply desired and received by the universe around you. Like, it's like, I don't know, this is just me riffing, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Mascu, you are a man who does with another man. No. I feel like you're trolling, but nah, brother. I am the quintessential example of a heterosexual man. I've been blessed, not to stroke my own ego, but I've been blessed to have many very successful relationships with women that I really feel like are sacred blessings. Yeah. Yeah. It starts within yourself. Let's suggest pottery. Nice. Cheers. Strong. Nice. I can't tell, bro. I can't tell. It seems like there's a handful of people, you know, like I was expressing before, they're kind of going through some shit. So thank you for sharing your, you know, your whatever you're insecure about, or, you know, it feels like there's some people in here that are, you know, they're working through some shit. And hey, man, like, I hear ya. I guess I'm your mirror. I'm your mirror for today. You're revealing your own subconscious, compulsive projections. That's the word, of course. So I get it. I hear ya. You know, maybe y'all are struggling with some stuff. Your mental health's kind of in the shitter, and hope you deal with that. You know, I hope you deal with that ability. Because let's be real here. Like, let's kind of put a closing thought to not really shed too much subjective light on what, you know, the commenters might be experiencing. If you are entering a YouTube live stream and you are operating out of a compulsive place, like you're operating where you show up, you say the first thing that comes to thought, no self-awareness behind it, no, you know, no real intention or deep rooting, that's okay, brother. I get it. Trust me, you're not alone, in the sense where, guess what? Welcome to 2026. A lot of people are compulsively brainwashed and manipulated. They're programmed by the world around them. And if you are showing up in such a way, guess what? Congratulations, you know, little bubble of, or little confetti. That's you. Like, that's what you've just shown. Is like, if you're a person that's like, whoa, I don't have self-control. I can't operate from a emotionally regulated place, or whatever the word is. I'm not here to judge. It's like you're acting compulsively, right? You're just like, and guess what? Your phone that you're scrolling through, maybe it's your weird, crippling TikTok addiction, or whatever's going on in your mind. You've been successfully programmed, and you're now operating of a compulsive place. And that's how you're now showing up. It's clear as day. Like, that's literally what's occurring. Whether you're saying whatever compulsive nonsense has nothing to do with me. Like, trust. I'm just a YouTube streamer. I'm pretty confident, I know what I'm doing here with my intention. I won't take it personal, don't worry. But if you're showing up compulsively on a YouTube live stream, you're operating out of a maladaptive programming that's probably not serving you. You're not practicing a deeper level of intention or self-awareness of why you're saying. And I feel for you, brother. That sucks. That sucks to hear it. You're thinly veiled, projecting your insecurities, and you're operating of compulsive nature. Trust me, this is normal, unfortunately. Like, you're showing up because you're addicted to compulsive programming, and how that's manifesting is you're just saying the first thing that comes to mind and no awareness of why it is. Nothing to do with me. So congratulations. Hope that helps you put some perspective in that. But the unfortunate reality is you're probably not my target audience. Like, you probably don't have a place in this YouTube community, so I'm probably going to request you to leave. But hopefully that gives you some perspective. Like, you are addicted to compulsive programming. That's why you are presenting your weird, outlandish, compulsive thoughts. Maybe you think you're a comedian. Maybe this is your shining time. You're like, you know what? I'm trying to be funny, and I'm a comedian, and I'm practicing a comedic, I don't know, stance. Well, I don't know. Do better there. Yeah. But anyway. Maybe he's into Ryan. Testing the waters. Bro, it could be that, honestly, but I think more than not, I don't know. I'm not answering to anything in particular. Like, this is kind of how do I operate? I try to be neutralistic, where I'm going to assume from the common denominator that people are just, that's what they're operating from. Like, not saying, like, who knows? Like, the homie asking about, one sexuality. Who knows? I think that still comes across compulsive. Like, trust. If a dude pops into a stream and is just like, let's fixate about that, that is compulsive behavior. Like, that's him not reading social cues, and not saying even, like, no salt to throw at the homie. I mean, but people do that. People that try to be like, hey, you're this or that sexual orientation. That's obviously, you think that is any, like, rooting in a intentional conscious behavior? No, that's compulsive behavior. Like, that person is struggling to successfully, read social cues or show up, and that's how they're operating, right? It is what it is. I'm not here to, like, necessarily judge, but I'm saying I'm trying to reveal to you. I'm trying to, like, poke holes in the programming. That's literally, it's just like, I'm poking holes. Like, oh, do you see the programming? Well, here it is. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying in summary. Trolling, not trolling. Homie could be, he could be. That's what I'm saying. He's probably, like, unfortunately, dude's homophobic, probably struggling with insecurity of his own sexuality. That's what I'm saying, is that's the compulsive narrative, right? Like, if a person's showing up to a stream and being like, projecting, like, blah, 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 oh, this dude is that or this or that orientation, that is a person that I can guarantee is struggling. Like, their brain is not operating on full, what's the word? What do they say in cars? Like, on all the filters or whatever. They're not operating in their highest expression of self. And that's often, again, due to compulsive programming. So here, I'm just trying to be a mirror for that. Anyways, I don't know. We're just launching off because I just felt like that. But welcome, Rai. Welcome, yes. Yeah. Homie's asking if I'm drunk. Brother, I haven't drank an alcohol in so long. Nor do I desire to. But, yeah. So I guess we'll just remove those commentators. Just for the sake of, I don't know if I don't think those are people that are going to have an emotional break or some sort of, like, emotional development or behavioral breakthrough in the next, like, X amount of time. So I don't think they're my target audience. But anyways. Yeah. Yeah. I think he's operating at a degenerate grading level. Maybe you should throw this line out of the list where. Yeah. Anyways, with that, I think we have hit that time. What is it? 2.5 hours. I think we're gonna go ahead and do a cold plunge, probably chill in nature for a bit, maybe meditate, and head to the gym. I think it's a perfect time frame to go to the gym. Yeah. It reminds me of hearing Trump. Wow, yeah. Yeah, that's true, Knight. I'm not sure what your contextualization with that is fully, but yeah, bro. Mental is not something to be afraid of. Like, that's what I mean, I don't know, we can do this in any given way, but it's like, if a person's showing it compulsively, yeah, it's like, here's me being like, hey, bro, you're showing how deeply programmed you are. Like, you're showing your mental health is maybe not in the greatest place or whatever, and it's like, this is just a mirror. Like, this is me being like, hey, friend, probably should get off your phone and deal with that if you can. Or maybe here's the first time you've ever thought about that. Like, that's all I'm trying to kind of do is like, maybe they've never actually come to that conclusion that, wait, am I like trying to project my own, insecurities or whatever's going on in their mind onto a random YouTube live stream because they've been scrolling through YouTube or scrolling through social media trying to unpackage that and failing to. So then here's me just trying to be like, poke holes in the programming. Be like, hey, this is probably what's going on. Maybe this is what you want to do. I don't know. Anyways, c'est la vie. I'm kind of just going into that. Anyways, well, thank you so much for being here. I think this is the closing segment. We'll do yeah. I don't know, these streams have been interesting. Where again, I've been kind of like winging it a bit, in the sense where you may recognize I'm not necessarily trying to push the stream space so heavily right now. I'm purposely, streaming every once in a bit and not doing it to a point where I'm not trying to grind out streams because I really don't feel the full desire to. Now, I think streams are extremely beautiful tool that if I really want to like fully embrace it, find that middle ground where I can really connect deeper with what the stream space can offer. And I don't know, just like, who knows? What I'm sort of leaning to is obviously busking, live streaming, and strengthening that dynamic and, making content out of that feels like a smart direction to go into, but I don't, I'm sure there's always going to be better ways to acclimate streaming. So I'm always just a student of this. But right now we're just kind of casually popping in, not really focusing on optimizing views. If I wanted to optimize views, I'm sure I could choose a very select window, maybe create some kind of engaging title with some philosophical thing and go chill in a forest. But it's neither here nor there. We're kind of just like casually working on some guitar stuff and seeing what flows through. Yeah. Bless. Have a safe day. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. I hope you guys have a beautiful, nourishing day. Remember to honor your somatic body and your somatic experience. And with that, I think we'll pop in an outro. Whoa, homie's talking politics. That's a hard no. Cold plunge and gym sounds epic. Honestly, yeah, I think after yesterday of like spending hours and hours wandering, trying to busk, traversing street festivals and this and that, I think I'm excited to get into the gym. I'm excited to just chill in nature and be like, nah, let's just chill. Like, no trying to challenge ourselves, even though that was a really fun experience, and very valuable experience. I think my body, my nervous system is excited to just like, nah, well, no humans, just weights, just nature. This is kindred. So hopefully, if that resonates, I hope you guys yourself can nourish your body in whatever way that is, and you need that in your reality. Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here. Deeply appreciate you guys, and have a great day or a great night wherever you are. And as Wim Hof says, have a great life. Remember to honor yourself and honor each other. I think I've already said that. With that, yeah, feel free to subscribe to this channel if this content resonates with you. I teach guitar, meditative sound journeys, or I do meditative sound journeys alongside various types of music, guitar, YouTuber stuff. So yeah, if that resonates, feel free to chime into that. Yeah. And also, yes, on a closing note, if you feel the desire to support this channel in any way, I have a Ko-Fi. It's Ko-Fi. Yeah, Ko-Fi. This is me giving them free affiliation. I'm not affiliated in any way, but Ko-Fi, even if you're just a creator, this is just kind of me saying better than the YouTube mechanisms they have play. You don't get 30% taken from your overhead. It's a tipping platform that you can literally just receive 100% of your proceeds. So if you're a creator or you're whatever, some sort of person, you want to find a tipping platform, Ko-Fi. I really like it. Or Ko-Fi, I don't know how it's pronounced. That's my link. I don't even know if the link works if you can scan it, but that's my Ko-Fi if you desire to support this channel. But no pressure, no expectations. Honestly, it is what it is. But thank you. I can't do Viber. Interesting. It's medicinal after that. Yeah. I'm stoked. Thank you, OPT. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Psych Doc. Thank you. Thank you. Of your viewers who use the link, you need to print. It'll need printing backwards, I think. Of your viewers to use the link, printing it backwards. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, bro, it's a QR code. Like if I were like, boom, it's just a QR code. I'll have to maybe try it because you're right. Maybe because it is backwards, it might not work. But I just use it as a means of flashing, like, oh yeah, this is the Ko-Fi thing. Because it is backwards. I don't know. Maybe I've got to find a mirror. But I just, Ko-Fi is easy. It's very simple to use. It's just ASE. Ko-Fi ASE. I don't make it complex, all the symbols. So if people actually want to donate, I don't think they need to do the thing. They basically just got to use Ko-Fi ASE. Anyways, I feel like I'm a walking, talking advertisement right now. Anyways, well, thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you guys soon. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Much love, bless, ashe. For scanning on a screen. Yeah, I'm going to probably try once I close the thing. I'll try scanning the thing.